In the first video, we talked about recognizing anxiety for what it is. So a quick review of those steps, looking at anxiety as a low-level fear. And the more anxious one gets, it's piling low-level fear on top of each other until it amplifies into a really big fear. Anxiety is reactionary, and anxiety is a mindset of working hard to feel safe. Even though it's exhausting and unpleasant, the end result of it is I lived through that and now I understand I'm in a moment of safety. Once the decision, it's very important to make a clear, concise decision not to be anxious anymore, to avoid anxiety as a reaction, and to catch it quickly when the mindset starts to develop. There isn't really any quick, fast thing that changes the pattern of anxiety. It's a conditioning process that's worked for us so much in the past that it takes a little while to turn it around. But the quicker you can catch it early on in the mindset, when it's a very low level bit fraction of anxiety, then it becomes quicker and quicker to have it resolved. And before long, one doesn't feel anxiety at all. And yes, you actually can get to that place where you don't feel anxious at all. So the second step in my first 5-step process, after the recognition, the making the decision, and understanding what anxiety is, step number 2 is to focus wholly on the facts. This is something that people who deal with unpleasant anxiety, one of the biggest issues is that they don't look just at the facts, but they also create a story around the facts. And what that means is they experience something, or they read something, or see something on TV, or have somebody, a close friend, tell them something, and then we who are experiencing that create a meaning around that. So we make up a story of what that means, rather than just looking at it as the fact. So an event happens, we make a meaning about it. We say something about it. And if we're a naturally anxious person, what we say about it is some kind of story that starts to become dramatic and starts to create fear in us as it builds and builds on the anxiety. So making sure that we're catching the stories that we're telling ourselves and stopping them in their tracks and just focusing on the facts. This doesn't mean we have to become like a fact police and walk around and, as other people are telling us stories, we don't have to be calling them out on the things that aren't factual. Don't become a jerk about this. Just inside your own head, also don't be a jerk, and don't be negative, and don't make something up that's not necessarily true. And this is a very, very deep, very profound thing if you get it and if you practice it, is look at something, watch the news, and just listen to the facts, but then watch how much they dramatize it and make it emotional. Or listen to a story from a friend, or watch a YouTube video, and just listen for the facts. These are exercises to do to really build up your power of discernment, of understanding what is and what is not. What is a fact? What is the event that happened? A tree falls over and hits and we start telling ourselves a story, wow, all these trees are dangerous. This tree could fall over, that tree could fall over. I gotta be scared of all these trees because at any moment, any of these trees can fall over. That's only the story that I'm telling myself. I can be aware of a tree falling over, but the fact was only one tree fell over. And I don't have to be scared of every tree, just aware. And that takes the drama out of things and allows that anxiety, instead of ever building to become something that's controlling and overwhelming, it allows it to just be a fact. And it allows us to remain logical about it and not get swept up in emotions that are most often just stories being told. So stick to the facts. Be aware when other people are speaking, don't just wholeheartedly agree with what they're speaking, but instead listen to what is a factual event that they're speaking about, and what is their meaning, what is their story that they're winding around this event to go along with it. And catch this within your own self as well. What is the facts? What are the facts? And what is the story that you're creating around that? What are the stories that you're agreeing with that are feeding this anxiety? Because anxiety does not just happen, it only occurs because it's amplified by something feeding it and fattening it up into a big fear or panic attack. So that's the second step, just the facts. Stick to the facts. And if you can catch this, it's a really, really powerful tool to stop anxiety completely. All right, we'll go on to video 3 for the next step. We'll catch up with you real soon.